This is me, with locomotives 42105 and 42103 behind me, set to haul the iconic Cockatoo Run from Central to Robertson. The journey takes us through the breathtaking Illawarra region, and alongside the unused Wollongong to Moss Vale Railway, a vital connection between the South Coast and Southern Highlands. We're backed by popular demand on a mission to uncover the most beautiful town in New South Wales. Sure, Part 1 didn't quite take off, but I'm taking this as a sign to keep going, to keep sharing our adventures across the state. And just because it didn't get huge support doesn't make it a bad video, so check it out after this one if you haven't already. Huge thanks to everyone who's been watching our train spotting updates and remembering to like and subscribe. This is part 2 of our series. In the first episode, we headed to Goulburn on the XPT and explored the Goulburn Roundhouse. This time, we're riding aboard an even older train, yet one that still keeps up to pace with Sydney's modern suburban and intercity sets. Although we didn't travel as far on this leg, the day was just as special. Planning for this trip began in May, after I stumbled upon a railway documentary that piqued my interest.
Everleigh Railway Workshop, Sydney. Train nut James Gray has arrived for one of the biggest days of his life. At just 16, James bought an abandoned diesel locomotive, 42101, for only $12,000.
The streamlined nose has always been to me just a look that they got it right.
20 years and $300,000 later.
Oh, here she is, 42101. Yeah, sometimes I just can't believe I've got it running after all of this time.
But there's still something missing. A license. Today's his biggest lesson yet. Taking on the punishing Cockatoo Run. 160 kilometres of winding coastal track that runs from central Sydney to Moss Vale in the Southern Highlands. Manoeuvring along cliff-top rail lines and some of the steepest grades in Australia.
We're changing one of the brake shoes here. It's worn. We want to change that before the trip because we're going up and down the big mountain, and certainly don't want to have our brakes wear out.
It will take James over 2 years of training to qualify as a driver.
Yeah, it's all in, no worries. Good to go.
He'll need a good teacher at his side.
You know how some people wonder about what people are thinking? They never have that problem with me. I let them know what I'm thinking.
Meet Dave Boyd.
We didn't get off to what you call a real good start.
He's the boss.
Known as Jaws for chewing up trainees and spitting them out.
I can't go easy on James because I wouldn't be doing my job if I did.
In just a few hours, for the first time, James will be taking the helm, bringing a new intensity to this relationship between man and machine.
He has to develop skills that the train doesn't become a runaway so easy on a steep grade.
I'll actually be more stressed than the engine because obviously it's ultimately my job to make sure I can control the engine.
Is this the beginning of a beautiful thing?
A lot of work's gone into this.
Or will it derail a dream?
In the Cockatoo Run. Over the following months, I dove into research and became fascinated by the history of East Coast Heritage Rail, formerly 3801 Limited, locomotives and rolling stock that operate across New South Wales. The July Cockatoo Run was especially festive, featuring a Christmas in July theme. The occasion also marked the 40th anniversary of East Coast Heritage Rail, an incredible milestone. As before, I travelled with my grandparents, who generously booked the journey for me. Our adventure began at Seven Hills, where we encountered an unexpected delay due to a rail worker being trapped in equipment at McDonaldtown Station. Fortunately, there were no fatalities, and we were glad to wait. It's true what they say, railways are the safe way. From Seven Hills, we call a Waratah B set to Strathfield Platform 2, initially scheduled to take a replacement bus from Strathfield to Central. We were lucky to hop onto a connecting D set from the Central Coast at Platform 1. This was my first time riding a V-set. While it's bittersweet saying goodbye to the beloved V-sets, it's reassuring to know some are being preserved for future generations, as rail continues to evolve to meet the public's needs. At Central, our train awaited us on Platform 1. Locos 42105 and 42103 stood near the concourse, before coupling with the rest of the train. In the rail's golden age, trains were usually composed of a single engine pulling its carriages. Today, modern sets like the XPT and Sydney Suburban Fleet, featuring DMUs and EMUs, diesel multiple units and electric multiple units, where power comes from multiple sources and no loco needs to run around to switch directions. Our train wasn't an EMU or a DMU. So when it arrived at Central from Everleigh Works, the two diesel locomotives had to run around the train to the opposite end of the platform to prepare for the departure. After capturing plenty of great photos and videos, it was time to board. The journey began on the South Coast Line, or SCO for short, running from Central to Wollongong, before ascending the dramatic Illawarra Range. From there, we ventured onto tracks no longer used by regular passenger services, part of the historic Unanderra to Moss Vale Railway, now reserved for freight and special heritage runs like ours. Leading the charge was 42105, hauling 11 carriages decked out in tinsel and festive Christmas decor. From first class to standard, dining cars to buffet cars, the two streamlined diesels pulled us out of Central at 9:11 a.m. Slightly behind schedule, but nothing these two powerhouses couldn't handle, even with the punishing gradients ahead. We made our way to Wooleye Creek, then coasted over the Cooks River near Sydney Airport. We glided past bustling suburbs and across the Georges River, before arriving at Sutherland. Where the sparkling Pacific Ocean view came, where the Soon after we headed down to Thirroul, the sparkling Pacific Ocean came into view, offering stunning seaside scenery. At Thirroul, I took the chance to stretch my legs and browse a souvenir shop, a treasure trove for railway fans and casual travellers alike. There were budget-friendly mugs, perfect for chilly mornings in Robertson, novelty sharpeners styled as lanterns and cabooses, and even fine railway paintings for collectors. But the best buy? A t-shirt from Peter, the volunteer running the shop, who's the mastermind behind East Coast Heritage Rail's merchandise. We're thrilled to be collaborating with Peter to bring you custom and pre-designed railway-themed shirts. These will include iconic trains like the Cockatoo Run, Candace Explorer, and Shoalhaven Express. as well as locomotives such as 42105 and 42103. And if you've got a passion, whether it's trains, cars, or something entirely else, will help you turn it into a wearable art. Back on board the train, we snaked through mountains, charged through tunnels, and made our final passenger pickup at Wollongong. Past the steelworks at Port Kembla, the streamliners roared to life as they tackled the steep 1 in 40 grade, a relentless climb where the beauty of the view is matched only by the grit needed to reach it. If you've ever imagined yourself as an engine on that climb, slipping wheels, running low on fuel, but driven by determination, you know the moment of triumph at Summit Tank. There we were rewarded with breathtaking vistas of the Illawarra, and then gravity did the rest, guiding us down into Robertson through lush rainforests, with glimpses of beaches and peaks that made every uphill push worth it. The two diesels are privately owned, one being named Chumsayer and the other Chumstar. 42105's name is Chumsayer. 42105 and sister unit 42102 first entered service in 1966 under the New South Wales Government Railways. After 2 decades, it was sold to the Northern Rivers Railroad, where it sported a vibrant yellow, orange and blue livery, and operated out of Casino during the late 1990s and 2000s, including duties on the scenic Ritz Rail tourist runs along the Murwillumbah branch. The NNR was later renamed Interrail in 2002 and subsequently merged into Queensland Rail. Under Queensland Rail, 42105 served as an assistant locomotive on East Coast intermodal freight services until late 2012, running alongside units like X54. It was stored at Edamoga in January 2013, then moved to Goulburn in May 2014. In August 2017, both 42103 and 42105 were acquired by Craig Pryor of Chumrail Restoration. Restoration of 42105 kicked off in 2020, with major contributions from Adam Sayer, whose efforts are honoured in the loco's nickname Chumsayer. On October 2023, 42105 triumphantly returned to Heritage Rail services aboard the Cockatoo Run and has since been active across New South Wales. 42103's name is Chumstar. While 42103 has a slightly different journey and is currently on loan to East Coast Heritage Rail, its backstory is just as fascinating. The 421 class, built between 1965 and 1966 by Clyde Engineering, was a development from the 42 class. Uniquely, these locomotives featured a bulldog nose on one end and a flat cab on the other, an unusual design among bulldog-nosed locos worldwide. Originally operating along the main South Line, 42103 was reassigned in 1970 to Bathurst for services between Lithgow and Broken Hill, including hauling the Indian Pacific. Due to ride quality concerns, it returned south in 1982. It briefly served Melbourne before being withdrawn and stored at Junee. In 1987, in the 1990s, most units were sold. The NRR acquired 4 and restored them for both tourist and freight use out of Casino, with 42106 joining in 1998. Of the converted unit, 42101 was restored by 3801. 42102 was the Dorrigo Steam Railway. 42103 and 42105 remained under private preservation, nicknamed Chumstar. 42103 continues to appear on heritage tours alongside its sibling Chumstar. Before our return leg to Sydney, I raced to the level crossing to witness 42105 and 42103 perform their runaround, moving from one side of the train to the other in preparation for the departure. Unfortunately, despite their muscle, the duo couldn't quite reach Mossvale before heading back, but our return journey ran smoothly, skipping only Summit Tank.
Waiting on a white coffee, love. Don't touch anything, mate. Oh, you did take a photo.
Okay. That's fine. Could you do the big one?
Don't put the, don't touch anything, mate. Oh, you did take a photo.
Okay. That's fine.